assassin. Let's give it up for Anthony Galindo. Come on, Galindo, let's go. Like Rick, I have also experienced my fair share of trauma. When I was in the 8th grade, my parents took away my Xbox. Life is cruel. No, he is right though. You have to laugh at the worst parts of life. You really do. They say laughter is the best medicine. So maybe if these bummer kids with leukemia would just lighten up for a minute, maybe they'd have fewer problems by now. I'm glad you like that one. You're the guy that's your bachelor party, right? That's exciting. You said you jerk off as a hobby or as a job? Good Lord, you're going to do that till you retire if you're getting married, man. That sex life's going to the tubes now. You're going to be like one of those cows in the factory with a vacuum up against his udders, just jizzing into non-existence.
I wouldn't be getting married about it.
Oh, man. You know, you should get your new wife as a wedding gift some AA batteries. Like you guys heard, my name's Anthony Galindo. Galindo is actually a Spanish name, that's true. I know I look very German, but my name is Spanish because my grandparents are war criminals. Did everybody get that one? Raise your hand if you got that one. The joke is I look like a concentration camp counselor, right? Like, kids, come on, out of the lake, hit the showers. It's great to be here doing stand-up, guys. I do a lot of stand-up in Seattle, which, you know, there's good and bad with every city. One thing I like about Seattle is very LGBTQ plus friendly. I like that in the town, because personally, I can really, relate to lesbians. Because in high school, I also wanted to be just one of the guys, you know? Go long. Who? Her. Yeah, man. The other day, a friend of mine was bragging about having a really in-tune gaydar. Have we all heard that term, gaydar? You've heard that before? Yeah. If you've never heard it, it just means like a straight guy's intuition when another person might be gay. I think it's an outdated term because when you're in Seattle, it's not that hard to spot. You know, what are you and the fellas sitting at a bar and you look across the room and go, don't look now. Guys, I think that fellow over there might be gay. Really, which guy? You mean the guy wearing the booty shorts and body glitter? You think that guy might be gay? Are you talking about the guy in the rainbow tank top who's passionately dancing with his throbbing cock rubbing against that other guy's throbbing cock? You talking about that guy over there? I think it's a two-way street, though. I do. I think gay folks have straight dar. You know, they can see us coming. They're at the same bar going, "Oh, don't look now." I think that might be a straight over there. Which guy? Oh, you see the guy with the flannel button-up over top the Batman t-shirt? Yeah, you know, the guy who's holding a can of Miller Lite in one hand and another can of Miller Lite in the other hand. You see that guy? The guy who's staring at the ass of every girl in the bar and going, nuts. That guy? You think that guy might be a hetero? Oh, how you spot him, man. I have a gay cousin, and I love to mess with him, because, okay, so last Thanksgiving, we were helping Grandma out in the kitchen, and I said, hey, Tyler, his name's Tyler, hey, Tyler, would you mind stuffing the turkey? And he goes, oh, why? Because I'm gay? And I said, yeah. He's got the motion. It's in the wrist. He knows the wrist. He's got the technique down. Poor Tyler, man. He's got a rough, man. I grew up in a really religious family. Anyone else grow up in a religious family? Anyone? A lot of folks, yeah. Some of you, cool, man. So my parents sent me to a Christian high school because they thought if I went to a regular high school, I'd wind up having sex and doing drugs. I thought it was bullshit. Then I left the school, and it turns out they were pretty good intuition there, pretty good. And it's weird going to a Christian high school because most of the teachers are retired pastors and priests. Look, I don't want to perpetuate a stereotype or anything, but this is just true. My freshman year, in separate instances, 2 teachers and 1 football coach got arrested for touching kids. It's true. Those were rough years, man. By the time I left that school, I was so used up, my uncle wouldn't even touch me. Speaking of touching kids, do we have any Catholics in the room? Any Catholic? We got, okay, one hand right here. This is totally true. Like 15 years ago, the Catholic Church had a big sit down at the Vatican because they had to do something about the pedophilia problem. Somebody proposed a 1-strike policy. 1 strike. You touch 1 kid, you're out. You don't get to be a priest anymore. And they voted it down. Nice. How do you vote that one down when they're sitting around a big table going, 1 strike seems a little stringent, don't you think? You're not going to touch 1 kid? What are we, Mormon? Live a life. You gotta envy pedophiles a little bit, don't you? No, I mean, they're getting laid, right? No. I do envy pedophiles a little bit, though. I do, and I'll tell you why. I can't stand kids. They're obnoxious, they're loud, they're messy. I don't want to be anywhere near them. I would love to be on that list where by law they have to stay 100 feet away from me at all times. The irony is, to get on that list, you gotta get really close to them. You gotta fuck one, did you know that? Yuck. Yuck indeed, man. Just fucking around. Does anybody have like a cigarette I could bum? I know this is the wrong time. Anyone have a cigarette I could bum? Yeah, you do? Oh, thank you so much. It's really kind of you. Let's give a round of applause, everybody. I gotta feed my bad addictions. Oh, you are the absolute kindest. Freshly packed, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get the cancer straight to the lung. Oh my goodness. You are absolutely the kindest, thank you. Alright, now does anyone have a blowjob I could bum while I'm at it? One. Bachelor, hey, you gotta get it in before the deadline. The clock's ticking, buddy. Brother, after 2 more whiskeys, I'm gonna look like Scarlett Johansson, buddy. I promise you that. I got the curves in the hips. Oh, Christ, man. You know, me and my family, we don't see eye to eye on everything. We don't. We've had some rifts in our relationships, you know. Here's why. I'll tell you what happened. There was an instance. See, I'm the kind of guy, I like my babies how I like my martinis. Shaken. Here's where that becomes an issue. Last year my sister had a baby. She asked me if I could hold it for a few minutes. Big mistake. We were at a Mexican restaurant, they were playing mariachi music, and I love to play the maracas. Did you know that on average, it costs about $150,000 to raise 1 kid? $150,000 to raise 1 child. But a child's funeral, $2,000. I saved my sister $148,000 that day. She still never said thank you. No, man. I'm actually celebrating something, guys. Like I said, not everything's gone smoothly between me and my family, but I'll share it with you. I had a big milestone a few days ago. I was able to speak with my grandfather for the first time in over 5 years. How about that? It was a really big moment, man. I guess that Ouija board was a great investment after all. Grandpa was a hell of a guy. He was a veteran of the Second World War. You know, when I was little, he would put me on his knee and tell me his old war stories and everything, but it was so hard to understand the guy through his thick German accent. I didn't see him that often growing up because flights to Argentina are just so damn expensive. And for those of you who didn't get it before, that's why I have the Spanish name. I was born in Canada, so I love hockey. Both of my parents were born in Arlington, so I'm a little bit racist. Just a little bit. Arlington's a bananas place, man. Not many regions let you vote Democrat and have sex with your cousin. That's a wild place. Nah, that's a joke, guys. They don't vote Democrat there. Buck teeth and big jaws, yes. Democrat, ooh. I know what you're thinking. Cousins, incest, but Anthony, didn't you just say both of your parents are from Arlington? Yeah, I know what I said. I don't have these 2 belly buttons for nothing. I'd show them off, but I've always had a lot of body confidence issues. Since I was a kid, I'm super skinny. I look like God slapped me together out of old coat hangers and chewing gum. Ladies, I'm gonna warn you. I'm so bony. Making love to me is kind of like getting humped by a Ziploc bag filled with Legos. You're gonna wind up with some bruises. I know my face looks like a guard at Auschwitz. My body looks like an inmate. It's hard to get laid when you got 2 belly buttons, man. I'm sick of dating. I am. There's too many phonies out there. I keep meeting the phonies. Like, I went on a date with this girl and she told me a story that, I'm just gonna tell you guys. I'll tell you guys and you tell me if you believe it or not, okay? She told me that her dad was hanging out with the band Lynyrd Skynyrd when they wrote the guitar riff to Sweet Home Alabama. Do you guys believe that story? No. I didn't believe it either. She said a lot of other things that night that turned out not to be true. Things like, I had a great time, we should do this again. Yeah, man. I went on a blind date. You guys ever do the blind date? Yeah. Dude, it's a nightmare, isn't it? I walk in and she's like your classic Pacific Northwest hippie chick. She had the feathery earring and the crystal necklace and opinions. Yuck. And she had a shaved head, which is a wild fashion circulating the hippie chick community. The shaved head. And it was a bit distracting for me, but here's the thing, she was really cool. We hit it off really well, made great conversation. So I had this real honest gut check moment with myself where I thought, maybe I'm being shallow. I'm having a great time. Look past the shaved head, just ask her out again. So I said to her, listen, I'm having a great time with you. What are you doing next weekend? And she said, chemo. It is funny. You know who said it's not funny? The guy with the shaved head. You're in our thoughts and prayers, my friend. You're in our thoughts and prayers. Now, a little while ago, a good friend of mine came up to me and she said, Anthony, we've been friends for a long time. I think I might be, developing some feelings for... I said, look, I can really appreciate that. I just don't think I see you and I in a romantic capacity. I was honest with her. A week later, I go on a date with a different girl. Girl number 1 finds out and she is mad. She comes up to me, oh, you won't date me, but you'll date somebody else? What's the difference between me and her? Tell me, what is the difference between me and her? And I said, I don't know, about 60 pounds? Give or take. Last week, I went on a date with this girl who's got Parkinson's disease. Best hand job I ever had. I do have an announcement for the room, though. I'm done dating white women. Done. White ladies, you're a bad investment. Here's the thing. If you date or marry a black gal, she might smack your kids. But the white girl will drown them. It's a bad investment. One time I told that joke, and when I came off the stage, a white girl stomps up to me and goes, that joke was racist. And I said to her, I don't think that's your line. I had Home Depot paint swatches in my back pocket, like, we're the same shade, bitch. You don't get to cherry pick. I do want to run something by the ladies in the audience. This is just, I'm totally curious. I want to know. So, recently I saw this TV commercial for a women's deodorant, and it boasted that it was the only deodorant on the market that's safe for both women's underarms and private parts. Now, ladies, my question is, do you buy 2 sticks, or do you just double dip the chip? Because that just seems like you're spreading around the yeast. Now you're itching twice. You don't want that. Is a stick of roll-on deodorant the best way to freshen up? Your man goes down on you, he comes up, his lips are all chalky. Fellas, you really want your woman coming at you with a chalky vagina? I know we still would, but bear with me. It's not plan A is what I'm getting at, man. That lady's camel toe looks like 2 erasers on the last day of school. Oh, man. We have any monster truck fans in the room? That's shocking. I've never heard a louder silence. Something great did happen this year in professional monster trucks. It's true. The first ever woman won the Monster Jam Series. That's true. Her name is Miranda Kozai. First ever woman, and she is the champion of all monster trucks. And you know, I think it makes sense that women would be naturally talented at driving monster trucks when you consider that the entire sport is just crashing into stuff. If you think that joke was a bit much, just look at the cars in the parking lot. I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh, no. I know that's a stereotype, man. Stereotypes aren't fair. Sometimes stereotypes, they can be fair every now and then. You know, I'll give you an example. I'll just give you an example, and you decide for yourself if you agree or disagree, okay? Here we go. Bruce Jenner. Spotless driving record. Caitlyn Jenner ran over a guy. All I'm saying is you can put a pin in the timeline of where things went awry. Everybody, we got a lot more fun comedy coming up. My name's Anthony Galindo. You've been a lot of fun. Thanks a lot. All right, keep it going for Anthony. Now,